Hey guys, back with not the final part of the Q&A. I have decided part three is going to be the final one, but I have quite a few questions for part three. So let's get straight into them. So first question is from C Anime Forever. He has a couple questions. His first one, I know you want to play Mystic Arc. What are some other Super Nintendo RPGs you want to play that we missed out on? Um, let's see. Treasure of the Rudras is supposed to be pretty good. I've looked at gameplay. That looks like a fun game. Live a Live. Um, um, Treasure Hunter G. I'd like to play. I'd like to play. Terranigma. I still need to play. I mean, I can play all these games with emulation, but I don't know when I'll get to them. I do definitely want to play them, and I do wish we actually got physical copies of those games in North America. But yeah, I'd say those for now. There's probably some others I just can't remember at the moment. What are your thoughts on video game grading? Personally, I despise it because it's getting abused. Same with Time Walk Games back when they had games in stock before they closed down. Um, I don't get video game grading at all. I just don't understand it. It's like the same thing with sealed game collecting. I just don't really understand keeping a game sealed and sitting on a shelf. I instead of playing it. And grading is a weird thing. Like I just don't understand why you'd want to go on eBay and buy like a sealed graded 95 game or whatever in a box. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. And it's a waste of money in my opinion. Like you got to pay to have that done, right? I mean that's like it's ridiculous. I just do not understand video game grading. I don't understand why anyone would want to do that. I don't know. I don't know if I despise it, but yeah, I'm definitely not a fan of it, and I don't quite understand it. And his last question: what are some of your favorite Japanese artists? Some of mine are Reina Uehara, Bonnie Pink, Riki Suera, and Nana Mizuki. I've never heard of any of those. I guess you're referring to like game artists. Um, I have no idea. I gotta say, I probably should pay attention to that more, like artists for Japanese games, and then I could probably think of some favorites. But I actually couldn't even name a single one, unfortunately. I should really look up some Japanese artists. Um, so yeah, thanks for the questions, and we'll get to the next one, and it's from Link of Courage One. He's got quite a few questions here. Oh no no he oh these are answers to his questions. Okay, never mind. Okay. Uh, okay, I thought those were questions. Okay. Um. Okay, that's just that. Okay. Uh, some questions from thefunnynerd.com. Uh, let's see. Okay. What are the games everyone loves and you have never played? Ooh, quite a few. Like I've said before, the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 libraries I've completely missed out on for the most part. Um, like all the RPGs on those systems. Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne I know gets a lot of love. I guess like a lot of big name games like God of War 2 and 3 I've never played. Metal Gear Solid 2, 3. Well, I've played 1 and 4, but 2 and 3 I've never played. Though that's because I'm not really into those games that much. Um, trying to think. I mean, I guess I play most of the really well liked games. Super Mario Galaxy 2, I still have yet to play that. So there's that one. Yeah, I think that's about it. Trying to think. The Resistance games I've never touched. Ratchet and Clank I've never touched. Jak and Daxter I've never touched. So yeah, actually, now that I think about it, there's quite a few. There's quite a few. Infamous. Well, no, I've played a bit of Infamous. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. I'm sure there's. If I think of some others later, I'll say them. But yeah, there's a lot actually. um, what would make for a better game in your opinion? 100% open world, no story, just do whatever you want, or linear story, guided gameplay? Ooh. An open world without a story, I must admit, is not too appealing with me, for me. Um, when I play open world games, I want there to be a story, and some of my favorites are ones that have really intriguing storylines, like Grand Theft Auto 5, San Andreas, Red Dead Redemption, Fallout 3. Um, if there's like no story at all, then open world games are not really my type of thing. So I guess overall, a linear story with guided gameplay is more my thing, like a lot of JRPGs are, although they can be open at times as well. But yeah, I'll go with linear story guided gameplay. Um, so yeah, those are his questions. Thanks for the questions. Um, okay, Asimov1 has a couple here. Any thoughts on the treatment of women in gaming and ethics in game journalism, Gamergate? Okay, I saw this question here, and this I don't want to talk too much about this because this is a it's a big controversy now, I guess. And I've looked at all of like the controversy and read up on Gamergate, and like man, like there's just so much. Like it's almost confusing how much information there is, and the viewpoints from both sides and in the middle. And it's one of those things that I gotta say ever since it started, I haven't really paid too much attention to it. I mean, I know the general gist of it. So I guess what I'll say is I'm not on either side of this, and I think it's pretty ridiculous. It's the one thing I want to mention, the attacks on women, like Anita Sarkeesian and like female developers, like they're getting a lot of Twitter harassment and death threats and just really nasty comments, and that pisses me off. I'm not a fan of Anita Sarkeesian. I really don't like her videos, and I'm not a fan of her, but like a death threats that's just out of control. And it's honestly kind of angering because women play video games just as much as men do, and they should be allowed being games journalists. I know a lot of them are getting like pushed away from the industry because of this shit, and that's pretty bad, I think. Obviously, there are some ethics issues. The whole Zoe Quinn thing was that was a bit rough. But at the same time, I mean, I don't think it's something to be like harassing women over and giving out death threats, and just the amount of outrage over this is insane. I mean, I like it's nice that video games are becoming more important and are looking. People are considering them video games to be art more than they used to be, and it's becoming a big industry and an important one that's talked about quite a bit. But like death threats over video games is something I'll never fucking understand. It's ridiculous. Like Anita Sarkeesian, she just gives her opinions out there on video games and the lack of females in gaming and things like that. And it's like if you don't like it, just don't watch her stuff. Like I don't know. It's crazy to me. So even though I don't pay attention to Gamergate stuff, and I think it's completely out of hand, I do want to. I do think that like this harassment shit has got to stop. Like it's getting pretty fucking ridiculous. It's just not cool. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Again, I'm not as informed on this shit as a lot of people are, because it's just crazy, all this stuff out there. But yeah, I guess that's it. Number 2, is Ultimate Floyd 1 a reference to Pink Floyd? If so, any favorite albums? It's actually not. It's a reference to a Jet Force Gemini character named Floyd. But I do like Pink Floyd a lot. They're one of my favorite bands. Favorite album from them? This is going to seem like a lame answer, but I gotta say Dark Side of the Moon is probably my favorite. I know that's like the big popular one, but I don't know, I like the flow of that album from start to finish. It just flows really nice. Every time I listen to it, I have to listen to it from start to finish. One I'm not too big on is The Wall. I know a lot of people love The Wall, but I'm not too big on that album. But yeah. And his last question, what are your favorite television shows? Good question. I must say I gravitate towards HBO shows. I don't know, like to me, like basic cable, like NBC, CBC, that kind of shit. Like the TV shows on those channels are just garbage in my opinion. Like the acting, like a lot of shows have laugh tracks, which I can't stand. There's a lot of really bad reality and sitcom reality shows and sitcoms. Like I definitely prefer more serious stuff that like goes on HBO. So like most of my favorite shows are shows that air to there. My favorite show is The Wire, hands down. That to me is the best show ever created. It's absolutely amazing. Game of Thrones, I've talked about before. I fucking love Game of Thrones. Oz, the prison drama Oz, like HBO's first big drama, really. I fucking love that show. The Sopranos, I fucking love. The ending of that show, it's that there's, the ending is a hit, like a love it or hate it thing. I thought that ending was perfect to that show. Boardwalk Empire actually just ended pretty recently. That was an awesome show. It didn't get enough love. Not enough people watched that. Like that was an amazing show. 6 Feet Under was an amazing drama. The Silicon Valley is a comedy on HBO that I think is actually really good. And most TV comedies I fucking can't stand. So the fact that one was actually funny. But I mean, not like that all HBO shows are only that I watch. Breaking Bad is on AMC. I love Breaking Bad, though I'm not really into Mad Men that much. The Shield I really like. Fargo was a recent show that I really liked, kind of like a miniseries. True Detective was fucking amazing. Can't wait for season 2. In terms of like normal like shows on basic cable, the only one that I really actually could confidently say I love is Twin Peaks. Like that's about it. Everything else is like on HBO or AMC or Showtime. Well, actually, Showtime there's not too much on there I like. Although that's where the new Twin Peaks is going to be. I'm super excited for that. But like Dexter was on Showtime, and I liked Dexter at first, but that show got so shitty. Like after season 4, that show just, man, like they really dropped the ball. Like the last, like season 5, 6, 7, and especially 8 were just terrible. Like that show really lost it. But yeah, that's about it. I do tend to go for like crime dramas as far as TV shows go. I'm really into that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think that's enough. I listed quite a few there. Okay, actually only 3 more questions. So this is going to be a shorter video. So yeah, it makes sense to have this be the last part. And the last few questions are from SNESMapper. And he says, these are fun to listen to. I guess I'll throw a few questions in the event of a new Q&A video. Coke or Pepsi? Coke. I love both, but Coke, I don't know. Pepsi's a bit too sweet for me. I like it still, but I definitely prefer Coke. Most boring open world game you've played? I gotta say, it's probably Watch Dogs. I know a very recent game, but that game was just really dull and mediocre, like I've said in my in one of my videos before. So yeah, it's definitely Watch Dogs. And favorite art book if you're into them. I don't think I have a favorite. I'd have to look at the one. Like I don't have too many of them. I don't really go out and buy them. I'd like to get the Dark Souls art book. I really should go out and get that. I have a feeling that would be my favorite just because I love the art in that game. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really have a favorite. I need to get more art books for sure. That's something I want to get into a bit more. But yeah, thanks for the questions. And yeah, that's it. I don't think I missed any. Yeah, no, that's it. So yeah. That ends the Q&A, 3 parts. I did not expect it to go on for that long. It was really fun answering these questions, and again, I want to thank everyone for the support, comments, and helping me get over 500 subs, which still is crazy to me. So yeah, that's it, guys. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.